Never before in all the series I've read have I witnessed such a slow motion, like train wreck that is the Demon King of Seven Deadly Sins. Don't get me wrong. I've actually been, as I've said, I've been enjoying the character interactions as the last couple chapters. I like the interactions of Meliodas and Elizabeth, as well as Meliodas and Zeldris. And on top of that, pretty much everything with Escanor, except the whole hated the fact that the flashback it was like, yeah, Meliodas was, styling on the one Escanor like nothing for years. And I was like, no, stop. That part bothered me, but whatever. Not important. What this chapter is important is the fact that the Demon King, he's got like one trick up his sleeve. Like two of you count bringing in the Endura, but it's like, why do you bring in multiple Endura? We already know there's multiple there, so I don't know why he just called over the one, but either way, here we have like him just doing some more illusion stuff with Meliodas, like trying to be like a jerk to Zeldris, and it's like, dude, we already know that this has been stopped. Your illusions haven't worked anymore. Why are you still trying? Why aren't you just going right for fighting? Why aren't you trying to, like, I don't know, come up with a better plan other than just be like, yeah, your brother's a dick. He'll betray you. No, he's clearly not going to. I mean, they already know that he's here to save them. So I don't know what you're really coming off at this point, Demon King. But the majority of the chapter, it's like him talking to his father about how, the kind of like cold-hearted like state of a demon is really the weakness that he has, because it was like having actual like emotions, affections towards another, bonds with other people that really help him grow beyond what he was already at. And even in that state, he acknowledges that they have made him stronger, which makes sense for this situation, because he says that in a normal like one-on-one he wouldn't be able to beat his dad, but he's in the spirit world where it's all up to, as is, the spirit of the person. It's all up to like their willpower and their emotional fortitude. And the Demon King, who is all just kind of, big, I'm really powerful, I'm the mean guy. And not only that, he's already lost once, so his pride and his kind of like status has been shaken. So he's in this really rattled state, which again makes sense of why Zeldris is able to overcome him. But really, like, the Demon King he's just been slowly getting beaten down like more and more every chapter. It's like any other series like would have probably had more flashbacks, more kind of like dialogue set up, and then near like the end beat him or had more of a back and forth. It's really just been like the Demon King getting thrashed on. I mean, he's at a couple parts where it seemed like, oh yeah, he's coming back. He might be able to, be more impressive. Nope, he's just getting completely demolished here. I mean, like, Zeldris, like, the second he drops Ominous Nebula, he just completely ragdolls him. He's like pulling him down to the ground and shredding him. And I saw some people talking about how like the one Escanor was able to withstand, standing in Ominous Nebula and going around. But you got to keep in mind though, this is the spirit world version where power levels are determined by, like I said, their emotional fortitude, as well as just their spirit in general. But isn't spirit one of their stats? I have to go back and look at that, but we already know that power levels stop being relevant like halfway through the second arc of the series. And here we have the Demon King just he's getting thrashed. He's got his helmet like starting to split open. I'm wondering if that's gonna have anything to do with maybe like we actually see his face. Maybe he'll have like sadness on his face. One thing that I'm very curious about, I have to go back and look, but he says that like when they're talking to him, he's like, oh yeah, you don't have any affection towards any other person. We already know that you do, and you didn't have actually any like fatherly feelings towards Meliodas and I. You just saw us as like bodies to get back in the material world. And I'm just like kind of like wondering, like, who did he hook up with to have Meliodas and Zeldris born? Like, did they have a mom, or are they like some weird demonic like branched off offspring? I don't know, but the Demon King, dude, I still understand. I understand like how he's being so slowly beaten. I mean, it's kind of sad because he's like this guy. He's millions of years old, and he's getting the work done by a bunch of mortals and his sons who are like only like a couple thousand years each. And Like he's gotten so thrashed that it looks like now his commandments are going to exit his body, and will exit out Zeldris' body. Zeldris will get his body back, and he's just going to be like a physical mass of the Ten Commandments, which makes me again wonder what exactly is his role going to be at this point. Is he just going to be like fleeing into like back into the netherworld? Is he gonna just kind of become like some big mass of like dark energy, just the commandments? But then how is he gonna be strong enough to really do anything? That whole aspect, I'm curious to know. I see that the next chapter, it's like he holds on, he who perseveres, or something. So there's got to be either Holt referring to Zeldris, who's he's keeping up his like actually fighting against the Demon King really 1v1, because Gelda, I mean, she's there for emotional support, and the emotional support obviously does like physical things in the within the spirit world. So there's that. I still think it's funny. Like I think it was like 2 chapters in, and I already liked her more than Elizabeth, Merlin, and Elaine. I'm just like, and Diana. I'm just like, this character is so much more interesting. Why don't we have her around more? And we're already at the end of near the end of the series, so it's like, well, we're probably not going to get much more of her. But like the Demon King, like splitting off, I don't know. The thing is, I don't understand what the author like. Does he have plans to do more? I don't have any hopes for the Supreme Goddess. We already know from the movie that Mama Hawk is the Mother of Chaos, who's apparently more powerful than Meliodas, from what he said. So if she gets in there, like, what level of hope would the Supreme Goddess have against this crew? Like, even without counting the Mother of Chaos in the mix. But the Demon King, like the dude is like bad at planning. He had millions of years, and like he barely formed like a small like he had the whole like demon race, but like they were not that strong outside of like the 10 Commandments, and then you had Chandler and Cusack. But you'd think with millions of years you could have constructed way more. I don't know. And then like what's this dude's plan? Again, he's millions of years old, and his plans of like getting his son submissive to letting him take over his body, he does like little illusions. Like, how does he not have multiple plans and multiple strategies and multiple like contingency plans set up for if they end up turning on him, or if he's got to fight them? How does he not have something being like, oh yeah, you guys are barely a fraction of as old as I am. Your power is like somehow linked to mine or whatever, and it like can turn their power off or do something. I mean, what happened to his power? What was it? The Almighty? Was that his? No, that's Juhaz. What was his? Tyrant? I don't even remember what his power was. His kind of like damage becomes healing, and healing becomes damage. Where is that in all this? Wasn't that one of his skills? Is that even, has he even used that once in this entire fight? I don't think so. I think he's just been like swinging around like a big darkness sword and then making weird little sage stuff. I don't think he's done any of his like his apparent power that made him as powerful as he is. I don't think he's even like. Why doesn't he take back the commandment from? Well, no, he has Elder's command. Why doesn't he have that like God power that like as long as he's touching somebody, he can turn their powers off? I don't know. The whole thing with this is like I feel like Nakaba just forgets about stuff. I don't really know. I don't know. Like the complicated powers. I feel like he just kind of like loses sight of. When I read Kogo Bansho, most of the powers are very straightforward. They're very easy to understand, and though the series is a lot shorter, there's a lot less going on. I felt like he had a much more kind of like consistent grasp on it until the very end when it got kind of ridiculous. But with this, I don't know. I'm just like, you have all these powers? What exactly is the whole thing that lets it that lets you have this? Like, I thought you had this apparent like super reversal technique, and yet you're not using it. It's like Meliodas' like apparent super secret power, and then like the Demon King reaches in to like grab him, and then his arm's gone. It's like, what was this apparent power you had? Is it just like a raw power level you're hiding? Is it a secret skill? I don't know. I guess it's kind of like the same thing as like all the Enduriforms that were foreshadowed for like Meliodas, Eldris, Chandler, Cusack that never got shown. I don't know. Does he forget? Does he just kind of like not want to do it? I'm just so confused with Nakaba and his decisions sometimes, because like he's just been holding on to this Demon King getting thrashed for like the past like what 25 chapters he's just been getting wailed on constantly. Like the most consistent thing about like this entire arc is that the Demon King gets beaten up and chumped on. Like he just has like a bad rap to him. I don't understand. It's so weird. Legitimately, it's so weird because I've seen like villains have like get thrashed near the end. You're like, oh, okay, we're maybe the series gets rushed again. Something like Acnologia's defeat was kind of rushed. Juha's was in Bleach, but this is not rushed. Like it's clear that Nakaba is not being rushed. He's had ample amounts of time to do stuff, and yet he's just had this very slow motion like curb stomp of the Demon King for so long. But anyway, comment below. Tell me thought about the chapter. I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm more confused than anything, to be perfectly honest. I'm so just flabbergasted at why the fact that this guy he's built up as such a villain, and it's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw him away to do a different villain, or I'm tired of this guy. I don't really want him to be the bad guy anymore. It's just like you just keep beating on him, and then Nakaba reaches down with his rider hands. He picks up the Demon King, puts him back on his feet, shakes him off. He's like, all right, Tiger, get back in there. It's going to be different this time. And, he gives him like a little bit of a power boost or a new form upgrade. And then it just happens again. He's like, hey, man, I just gave you all this stuff. Why are you losing again? You're a little writing the story, asshole. But anyway, comment below. I'd appreciate if you thumbs up the video, press the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But then I appreciate it. Already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.